Okay, so today we will consider the economic generation considering the generator limit. Okay, so what will be the meaning of that one? Now here in this paragraph it is written the meaning, or the procedure is written in this paragraph, that what is the meaning of the considering the generator limit. So it's very easy, you doesn't need to study any other things for this one. So just give one example for that. So take this example. Here you see that total 3 units are there, and every unit the maximum and the minimum generation is given, as well as the input output curve is also given, and the fuel cost for unit A, B and C is also given here. So that means we can easily find out just by multiplying the unit fuel cost and the input output characteristics of that particular unit to the cost function. So this is the cost function. This is the cost function for all the units, which is uh, obtained by multiplying the cost into fuel cost into the input output characteristics. Now here this one is the alpha, beta, gamma, or in some of the books it is mentioned by ABC. So here you see the unit A, it is the maximum value is 600 megawatt and the minimum value is 150 megawatt. That means after the scheduling, if you see that the generation of the unit A crosses that upper limit or the lower limit, then it is not economical. Okay, so then you have to do something extra. Now what is this thing? So I explain it here. Say 3 units are there and total load demand is 1000 megawatt. Our aim is to distribute the 1000 megawatt of load demand among the 3 units economically. This is our aim. And while doing these things, we considering P1. So P1, it has a upper limit and the lower limit. Similarly for P2, it also have the upper and lower limit, and for P3, it also have the upper and lower limit. The limits are definitely depend upon the physical characteristics of the alternator present in that one, because every alternator may not be the same alternator or the same types of alternator. So they may be installed in different times. So that's why the rating, efficiency, all may be different from the others. So that's why the upper and lower limits are also different. If they are same type of alternator, then the upper and lower limits are same. So this thing should be given in the question. Say this one has the 500 megawatt as the upper limit and say 100 megawatt as the lower limit. That means the generation of the P1 should be within the 500 to 100. If it is cross the 500, exit the 500, or if it is goes down below the 100, then this generation should not be economical, though you get it from the economic operation or from the coordination equation. Say for unit 2, it is equal to 400, and say the lower unit is 75, and for the unit 3 it is say 300 and say 125. So these are the things should be given in the question. Now what you need to do, the total 3 units are there. So after solution, after applying the coordination equation or the economic generation criteria on that particular problem, you will find out that P1, this is actually the solution. This is the solution. P1 equal to say 550 megawatt. All these things are in megawatt. P2 equal to say 350, or not 350, 1 minute please. So this one is 300, and say P3, it's equal to how much it will be? So 1000 minus this two. So 550 plus 350, 850. That means it's equal to 150 megawatt. So you got it after applying the coordination equation or the economic generation criteria on that particular problem. Now here you see what is the problem. Problem is that P1 whose upper limit is 500 and the lower limit is 100, and the generation of the P1 is 550 after applying the coordination equation. So this one is actually crosses the upper limit. So that's why this is not economical. Is the solution economical? Is it economical? No, because this one crosses the upper limit of the generation of the generator P1 or the alternator P1. So if something is crosses the limit, then it should be overloaded. So overloaded or underloaded, both the conditions should not give you the economical operation or the optimum economical operation. So we have to do something. What should I do? First, we need to think that which limit it is crossed. Is it cross the upper limit or is it cross the lower limit? Which limit it cross? Is the generation of generator 1 crosses the upper limit or the lower limit? Which one?
Upper limit, sir.
Upper limit, obviously, upper limit is 500, so it crosses the 550. So that means it crosses the upper limit. So by force, you have to fix the generation of the generator 1 as the upper limit or the limit which is crossed. So here the upper limit is crossed. So you have to fix the generation of the generator 1 as 500 megawatt by force. No mathematical formulas are needed for this one. Whatever be the limit it cross, if it is cross the lower limit, then you have to fix the generation of that generator as lower limit. If it is cross the upper limit, then you have to fix the generation of that generator to the upper limit. Okay. So if one thing is fixed, then what will be the remaining load demand? Because 500 should be generated by the generator 1. So the remaining load demand is PD dash equal to 1000 minus 500, because 500 is already generated by the generator 1 and no formulas are needed for this one as it is cross this one. So we have to fix it to 500. So the remaining load demand is 1000 minus 500, which is generated by the generator 1 as 500 megawatt. Now the procedure, now this 500 is our load demand. It is the modified load demand because some part of the load demand is already shared by the generator 1. So it doesn't need to think about this one. So the remaining load demand, that means the 1000 minus 500 or the 500 megawatt should be shared between the unit number 2 and unit number 3 economically. So then again we need to run the problem, but in that time we should not consider the P1. Here we consider that 2 units are there, which is the unit number 2 and unit number 3, and the load demand is 500. So now taking this one, that 500 load demand is there, 500 megawatt load demand is there, and we have 2 units, unit number 2 and unit number 3. Then we again run the economical operation problem and find out the modified generation of the P2 and P3 using the coordination equation or the economic generation problem solution method. Okay. And this one should be fixed. P1 generation should be fixed at 500 megawatt. So this is the procedure for considering the generator limit. Got it? Now just check this one. What was mentioned here. So if the effects of power limits are to be, power limit means a generator limit obviously. So if the effects of power limits are to be considered, a partial modification is needed in this algorithm. Okay, not all the modification, only a little modification is needed in this algorithm when you want to solve it in the computer. So as lambda is increased or decreased in this iterative process, so if a particular generator loading Pi reaches the prescribed limit, maybe Pi max or the Pi min, its loading from now is held fixed at this value. So by force, you have to fix that generator loading to this particular limit which it crosses already. Okay. And the balance of the load demand. Balance of the load demand means if something is contributed by the P1, then total load demand minus this generation. So this is called the balance of the load demand or the modified load demand. and the balance of this load demand is then shared between the remaining generators on equal incremental cost basis. Equal incremental cost basis means on the just the application of the this economic generation criteria. This operation is also said to be optimal. Okay. Now, we have understood this
Yes,
one, why
sir.
this thing is written. So if something is crosses the limit, we have to fix that generator generation to that particular limit which is crossed, and the remaining load demand means the total load demand minus this generation, remaining load demand must be shared between the other two generator or the remaining generator in the incremental cost basis. So this solution is also called the optimal solution. And in this optimal solution, we have considered the generator limit also. Okay. Now, as I told you that I have the problem, I have this means coding for this particular problem, considering the generator limit as well as not considering the generator limit. So let's see how this type of thing, or how I write a code to solve all this problem using the MATLAB. So please wait till the MATLAB is loading the problem. Okay, so I now need to open that program. So this is my program. So just need to run the program. So here you see, are you able to see the screen?
Yes,
Hello.
sir.
So here you see, I want to solve this problem. So here, how many generators are there? Or how many units are there in this power plant?
3 units.
3 units are there. So enter total number of generators. So total number of generators is 3. Enter total load demand. So total load demand is 1000 megawatt. Then for generator 1, enter maximum generation. So check this one. For the generator 1 or the unit 1, maximum is 600, minimum is 150. Okay, so maximum is 600, minimum is 150. Now you need to give the value of the alpha, beta, gamma that constants in this economic this characteristics, the fuel characteristics of that particular generator. And here you see the alpha is this one. So 0.00165. So it's equal to 0.00165. What is the value of beta? Beta is 7.7, gamma is 550. So beta is 7.7, gamma is 550. So come to the second generator, we need to fix the generator limit. Generator limit of the second unit is how much? Unit B is 500 and 125. So it's equal to 500 upper limit and lower limit is 125 megawatt. Again, we need to give the alpha, beta and gamma. So alpha is 0.002, 0.002, beta is 7.88 and 300 gamma. 7.88 and 300 is the gamma. Come to the last generator. The units are 375 megawatt. So it's equal to 375 megawatt, lower one, alpha, beta, gamma. 0.005, 7.99, 80. 0.005, 7.99, I think. 7.99, 80. 7.99 is the value of beta, and 80 is the value of gamma 3. So input so far given, enter your choice. One input is correct to enter the data again. So I have write an option for correcting the data, that if so many data we need to give some. Actually, generally the problem, the coding is like that. In a separate function file or separate input file, you need to give that data. But here I take the data from the user directly from the problem. So input is correct, 1, then enter. So this is the economic scheduling. Generator 1 should generate 498 point this one, generator 2 366 point this one, and generator 3 135 point this one, and lambda value is this one. So check this one, generator 1 498.37. so you see the solution, it's equal to 498.376. generator 2 is 366.16, it's coming 366.16, and generator 3 135.465, 135.464, and this lambda value is 9.34, so it's equal to 9.345. So that means this solution gives exactly which is written here. Now I want to run the program again to show you that here I write the program to consider the generator limit as well as without considering the generator limit also. Now this program is considering the generator limit, but here you see that fortunately no generator is actually crosses the limit. Generator 1 is equal to 498 and it's equal to 600 to 150. Now I want to change it. So how I change it? So again I need to run this program. So number of generator 3 again. Total load demand is 1000 again. Now come to the generator 1. Generator 1, it's supposed to generate 498. So I just changed the limit from 600 to 450, and the lower limit is remain the same, which was 150. So 150. Then I need to give the alpha beta gamma again, 0.00165, 0.00165, and this one is 7.7550, 7.7550. Then for generator 2, I don't want to change the limit, 500, 125, 500, 125, and alpha beta gamma is 0.002, 7.88, 0.002, 7.88, and this one is how much? 300. So it's equal to 300. Sorry, it's equal to 300. And for generator 2, the limits are 375, 375. Alpha is 0.005, 0.005, 7.99, 80, 7.99, and 80. So data given is correct. So here you see, this is the economic scheduling, same as the previous one. Generator 1 should generate, this is the ultimate optimum solution. Generator 1 should generate 498, this is 366, 135, and this is the value of lambda. Now, after, when you considering the generator limit, and in that case, the generator limit of the first one is 450 and 150, so it crosses the limit. So generator 1 exceeds the upper limit. So therefore, generation of the generator 1 fixed at 450, that is the limit, upper limit of this generator 1. So the remaining thing is that S is actually the matrix, which is actually giving the ultimate solution.
স্যার একটা কথা বলছি স্যার, আমি মানে এটাকে নরমালি কি করে করব? হাতে মানে ওখানে তো কোডিং থাকবে না, কম মানে আমি যখন এক্সাম দেবো থিওরিতে।
থিওরিতে আগের দিন কি করে করবি আমি বলে দিলাম, যে আগের দিন যে 10-12টা প্রবলেম সলভ করলাম।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ স্যার, ওরম ভাবে করব, এইভাবে করব না, তাই তো?
না না, এইভাবে না, এইভাবে না।
ঠিক আছে, থ্যাংক ইউ।
আমি এটা দেখাচ্ছি যে if we considering the generator limit, then what should be the modification of that particular problem, যেটা আমি বললাম সেটা এখানে একবার করিয়ে দেখাচ্ছি। So as the generator 1 crosses the upper limit, so now from now the generation of the generator 1 should be fixed at 450, and the second one, that means generator 2 should generate the 400 megawatt. This is actually coming from the solution. This one is not coming from the solution. This one is just directly forcefully fix the generation of the generator 1 as 450. That means the limit of that particular generator. But this one is according to the solution. Second generator should generate 400 megawatt. Third generator should generate 149 megawatt. And the value of the lambda is 9.48. Okay. So in this way, we have to consider, if you consider the generator limit, then this is the modified algorithm for solution of that particular economical problem. And this error is actually coming because in that problem, I take the number of generator as 3, but when you fixed something here, when you fixed some generator as 1, then the remaining problem is actually taking the generation number as 2. So that's why this thing is actually forget to mention. That's why some error is actually there. Otherwise, if you just change this value, the error should not be there. And it should be in this way also. The generation 1 should be this one, generator 2 should be this one. So this is just rearranging all these things, nothing else. So this is the modified formula for taking all these things. So I'll send this one to Chirantan's WhatsApp number, this problem, economic scheduling. Here 2 functions are also there. So all these 3 things like this one. So this one, this economic scheduling with plus without generator limit. So I show you all the, I send all this file to Chirantan, and Chirantan will share it to the group. And if you have the MATLAB, then just check this one for your convenience time. Or you can check any other problem that the solution is correct or not. Okay. So come to the another thing. I just want to start it here. I'm not able to complete this today because only 15-minute time is left. So now today we are actually doing our practical problem, actual practical problem. So this is called the economic allocation of generation between different plants in the system, considering system transmission loss. And this one is also called the economic load dispatch. This is the actual problem because only the generation is not give you the fully economical thing because it is useless. The load demand should be generated economically. This is obviously one part of the operation, but it should be transferred to the load center also. Otherwise, if we only produce something not able to sell, it is useless. So we have to generate the power economically, which is gone already. Now this economically generated power need to transfer the load center economically. Okay. So before I start all these things, this is the theoretical things. Not very much complicated, but easy. This is again theoretical thing. So before I start the thing, let's discuss this thing. I want to show you that what is actually the meaning of this one, economic load dispatch. Say, I want to draw some power system here. So this is area 1. Obviously, this is the load center. It not generate anything, it consume the power. This is another load center. Oh, sorry. And this is the third load center, load number 3. This is our power plant. This is power plant 1. Power plant. And say this particular power system having 2 power plant, one power plant here, another power plant here. So all are interconnected. All these things are interconnected. Means from this one to this one is an interconnected system. This one to this one interconnected. Everything is interconnected here. Okay, so everything is interconnected here. Now, economic load dispatch means these black lines are these lines are nothing but the transmission line. These are nothing but a transmission line. So this is the transmission line. And transmission line have the loss. So in which parameter the loss is depend upon? Suppose you want to send some power from the load center to from the generating plant to the load center through the overhead transmission line. So in which electrical parameter the loss is actually depend upon?
Resistance.
Resistance is obviously dependable, but resistance is generally fixed. It's a constant thing. So the length is not variable. Length is constant. From the Kolaghat to Kolkata, the distance is fixed, or the length of the transmission line is fixed. So the resistance, total resistance from Kolaghat to Kolkata is fixed. So that means obviously the fault, the loss is depend upon the resistance. It's not called the resistance. The impedance is actually. So the impedance, as the impedance is fixed, it's a constant value. So the main thing which is depend upon is the current. If you want to send more amount of current, obviously within the limit, to the transmission line, then it will consume more amount of heat losses, and that is not recoverable. Once the electrical energy converted to heat, it will be dissipated to the environment. So you cannot get the electric energy after cooling down that heat. No, it's not possible. The reverse is not possible. So the loss is depend upon the current. Now here you see that from the power plant 1, this is the power plant 1 and this is the power plant 2. So from the power plant 1, the load center 2 is situated far distance away. Okay, it is situated a long distance away. But from generator power plant 2, the load center 2 is situated not very away. Okay, it's closer to compared to the power plant 1. That means whatever be the load demand are there in power plant, this load center 2, it major portion is shared by the power plant 2. Why? Because if the 100 megawatt load demand is maximum portion is shared by the power plant 1, then this transmission loss is more, because the load center 2 is situated far away from the power plant 1. And as it is situated far away from the power plant 1, and as the maximum portion of the load will be shared by the power plant 1, then what happened? The transmission loss become more compared to the scenario when the major portion of the 100 megawatt load demand is shared by the power plant 2, because the power plant 2 is close compared to the power plant 1 from the load center 2. So that's why the major portion should be shared by the power plant 2, because here the impedance is low. So whatever be the current, maximum current flow from this particular line, the transmission loss will be minimized.
So তাহলে তো ডিসটেন্সটা ম্যাটার করছে।
হ্যাঁ, ডিসটেন্স তো ম্যাটার করছে, ডিসটেন্সে তো ম্যাটার করে, বিকজ কারেন্টের উপর ডিপেন্ড করে, এন্ড ডিসটেন্সের উপর ম্যাটার না করলে ইম্পিডেন্স চেঞ্জ হবে কি করে?
ইম্পিডেন্স ফিক্সড,
ইম্পিডেন্স ডিসটেন্স দুটোই ম্যাটার করে, বাট ইম্পিডেন্সটা হচ্ছে এখানে ফিক্সড এন্ড কারেন্ট ইজ ভ্যারিয়েবল। আমরা কি করতে পারতাম যে পাওয়ার প্ল্যান্ট 1 থেকে যদি আমরা কম দিই, বিকজ হিয়ার ইউ সি দ্যাট দ্য total 100 megawatt load demand should not be shared by the power plant 2 only. তাহলে কি হতো? Because the no power is coming from the power plant 1, so this transmission line doesn't have any losses, but it is again not the economical things compared to the reliability. If this power plant have any problem, then the load center 2 become shut down, or there is no power in the load center 2. So that's why power is coming from the power plant 1, but little power. Why? Because as the impedance is more compared to this impedance. So that's why if we send more amount of current from power plant 1, then the losses will be more also. So this is the basics of the economic load dispatch, and that's why it is not possible manually to calculate all this kind of thing. So that's why we again need to generate or implement some formula for finding out this one, which particular load is shared by which generator. Suppose 100 megawatt is there, say 500 megawatt is there for unit number 1 or the load center 1, and say 300 megawatt is there for unit number for this load center 3. So total load demand become 500 plus 300 plus 100, that means 900. So 900 is the total load demand. First we need to run our first set of equation, that means the coordination equation, that how the 900 megawatt load demand should be generated economically by the two units, power plant 1 and power plant 2. Then we need to think about that how the generated power should be sent to the particular load center economically, and in that time we need to consider the transmission loss. বোঝা গেছে তো যে what the thing we are going to solve? আগে প্রবলেমটা ভালো করে বুঝতে হবে যে কি আমাদের করতে হবে, and what is the difference between economic generation and the economic load dispatch. এটা বোঝা গেছে তো যে কি করতে হবে আমাদের?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is our next step. We need to send the generated power economically to the load center. So 5 minutes left, so let's see how much we able to cover. Otherwise in the next week again we start all these things. So economic allocation of generation between different generating units in a plant has been considered previously. This is called economic generation. So when considering the economic allocation of the generation between different plants in an integrated system, the transmission losses are to be considered. Okay, because we need to send the power. So when we need to send the power, transmission losses will be there. This is the normal phenomena, and we have to consider this one. So this leads to the dispatch of power in an economical way, so as to make the overall cost to be minimum. That's why this is called economic load dispatch. We are actually not generating the load, we are generating the load as well as dispatch the load economically. Okay, that's why it is called the economic dispatch, and previously it was called economic generation only. Economic generation means we are not considering the transmission, we are only generate the power, and dispatch means we are actually want to transmit the power also to the load center. Let there be n plants in the system interconnected by transmission lines and tie lines. So this is the integrated system here. So many units are there, n number of plants are there. This is actually the load center. So many power plants are actually supplying the load, cater the load demand or share the load demand. Let P1, P2, Pn refer to the generation of n plants respectively in megawatt. Let the total load demand be P load, which is equal to constant. Acha, why I mentioned that every time the load demand is constant? Because is the load demand constant? Load demand is never constant, because when I switch on one small bulb in my house, the current is actually changes, the total impedance of the system will be changes. So though it doesn't have any effect on the total power system, but theoretically when you consume extra 1 watt of power or milliwatt of power, then the load demand is not become constant. So load demand is every time variable. So why we take it as the constant? Because if we start our program for a variable load demand, we are not able to proceed. So something we have to take constant when you write some program. Okay, and in this time we consider that for a particular time duration the load demand is constant. So we write our program, and this program will give you the ultimate solution. And when it may happen that when the computer is processing the time or processing the data, the load demand become change. It may happen. So that's why we need a very fast computer or very fast processor to process all the data, as well as the methods which converge the solution very quickly. That's why the Lagrangian method is the most suitable method for this one. Otherwise we have so many iterative method for finding out the answer, like the Gauss-Seidel, Newton-Raphson, the decouple methods. So many methods are there in mathematics for converging a solution. But here the scientists find out that if we take the help of the Lagrangian technique, it will give you the solution after a small iteration time, which is required here. Remember two things. One, that the time is very much precious when you considering the this power system protection as well as this power generation. because for the power system protection, if it takes more amount of time to decide that fault is there or not, within this time everything got damaged due to the high amount of current and the electrostatic stress due to a short circuit fault. And when you this one also, when if the computer takes a long time to find out the optimum generation for the plants, then within this time as the load demand is changed, so your solution is not perfect. You start your solution taking a particular load demand, but when you finish your calculation, then the load demand is actually changed. So we need a very fast processor as well as very fast methods also, because the time is cannot be saved only based on the hardware. It is also the responsibility of the software or the coding to minimize the time. So let the total load demand be P load constant and losses in the lines be PL. This is a new term introduced here, losses in the line. This losses is the total interconnected losses. The constant equation is this given by, constant equation means the first one, the equality criteria. Generation should be equal to the demand. Now previously we consider only these things, that Pi minus Pi plus P load equal to phi. Phi is the this constant function, which should be 0 for the ideal case but should not be 0 for the practical case. The value should be very close to 0. A generation should be equal to the load demand, but as now the line also consumes some data, some power, so that's why the generation should be equal to the load demand plus the losses. That's why the generation is in minus sign, loss and demand should be the plus sign. So this is our modified constants equation. Phi r being the residual power, jeta ar ki beche thake, residual means extra power, and should be approaches 0 during steady state power system operation. Okay, so this is the constant equation, and our aim is to minimize that particular value. Okay, so time is over, so we start from this one from the next week, and please mention if anybody present or anybody entered after the start of the class.
Yes, sir. Roll number 37.
Sir, roll number
1 minute,
35.
please.
Sir, roll number 34.
1 minute, please.